Right, yeah, I've been wanting to do this for ages. This is like kicking off right now. I've got a couple of videos. I just see something else, but I'm pretty sure these two videos is Edinburgh, but I think the gang war going on in Glasgow too, because I'm sure the video I just saw was someone getting macheted at their house. I'm sure that was in Glasgow though. But this first one is the Kinahan cartel and how the Kinahan cartel are possibly behind this, which they probably are. The Kinahan cartel are so big, and so look up the Kinahan versus the Hutch crime families. It's just slaughtering, really. And even the negotiation was crazy. Jerry Hutch agreed that Daniel Kinahan wouldn't kill his nephew if, I think Jerry Hutch offered his own son to get shot. Obviously not fatally, but Daniel and pay him $250,000. And they shot the other one, took the money, and still slaughtered all of them. Yeah, the Kinahans are no joke. But by all accounts, we'll see. We'll see with this first one. But then, yeah, the next one is a complete guide to the gang war that's happening. Like, it's crazy happening right now. But yeah, let's go.
A gangland war being waged in the Scottish capital is being stalked by one of the world's most wanted criminal syndicates. Police are battling a series of firebombings and shootings in Edinburgh, which are targeting a crime empire linked to jailed cocaine king Mark Richardson. But underworld sources say the Dubai-based Kinahan crime operation is linked to the attacks via their Scottish associates. The infamous Kinahan crime lords have relocated from their Dublin home to Dubai. In April 2022, the US Drug Enforcement Agency placed a $5 million bounty on the head of Daniel Kinahan. Amongst the close friends of the cartel's 47-year-old leader is Stephen Lyons, who is head of the notorious Lyons family from North Glasgow, who set up home in the UAE following an attempt on his life. Once in the Middle East, Lyons struck up a relationship with Daniel Kinahan and is rumoured to have attended the latter's wedding. Another figure linked to the Lyons mob, who we can't name for legal reasons, is also coordinating the attacks from within his jail cell, where he's serving an 8-year stretch for drug dealing. Richardson himself has been increasingly sidelined and is struggling to control his empire from within his jail cell, having recently been moved from Glenakill prison for his own safety. He is now said to be in solitary confinement in Low Moss prison near Glasgow, as his associates in Edinburgh are targeted. An underworld source revealed it has long been a wish of the Lyons family to get their slice of Edinburgh. For years though, it simply was not possible due to a variety of factors, not least Richardson's ruthless reputation. But there are always people looking to take advantage of someone else's difficulties, and this is exactly what has happened here. This could be described as a criminal perfect storm. Stars have aligned and it is bad news for Richardson. In all sense, Edinburgh is a ticking time bomb. All it will take is an escalation and that situation will change completely and horrifically.
Yeah, I think that is what is happening right now. The Kinahans know. Because there was that push for a while, wasn't there, to make Daniel Kinahan like a celebrity and move him away from, until the Americans went bang after him because he was the head of the MTK boxing company. He did a podcast with James English. You can't get that no more. You had like Marvin Herbert coming out, like bigging up Daniel Kinahan, telling him he's the reason Marvin Herbert got out of crime. But then, yeah, once the Americans went bang after him, but it's amazing that they're still going because they have got everybody look like after them. They are the most wanted, like probably even over the Mexican cartels. It's the Kinahan cartel. And what they done in Ireland with the Hutch crime family was, I mean, on one hand, it's kind of gross. They just was relentless. And yeah, for that matey in prison, oh, what a situation to be in as well. And the Kinahans have reach everywhere. Everywhere. They are huge. But yeah, This is the complete guide. Yeah, let's go.
The gangland attacks that have seen homes and businesses torched and firebombed and houses shot at started at the beginning of March in Edinburgh. The first attack happened in the Parrot Shot area of Edinburgh when a car was allegedly set on fire. 4 days later, this beauty salon in Leith, run by Mark Richardson's partner, was allegedly firebombed.
See what
Richardson
I mean?
is currently in isolation.
That is definitely hallmark Kinahan. They don't give a shit. They'll go after. They're gonna take you out. They're gonna take out everybody. Like that's what the Hutch crime family. They was killing like some fella that was at the barbecue. Like just anyone they could get their hands on that was in any way tied into that whoever they're beefing with. They're gonna get it. Yeah, crazy. And that's such a Irish. I know like everywhere does do, but it's the petrol bombing and the blowing things. It's such a Irish thing too. Like the John George, the Irish matey that got murdered. His family, like, well, it's not been put on it that it's his family, but the people his family's beefing with over his death, their houses have been getting petrol bombed and shit. It does seem to be a go-to in Ireland. The petrol. That's another key Kinahan sign. Yeah.
Lomos prison, serving a sentence for his part in a £200 million super gang. The Edinburgh crime boss became a target for the gang behind the attacks after one of his mob is said to have used fake cash in a £500,000 drug deal. Businesses and homes of people linked to the caged gangster were burned down and attacked. 5 days later, on the 11th of March, Stephen Dignan, the father of Richardson's partner, had his storage unit set on fire in East Lothian. On the 16th of March, this property in Milton Road East in Portobello, where Stephen Dignan lived and ran a business, was allegedly set on fire. 4 days later, and shots were fired in Marshall Crescent in Niddry, at the home of a Richardson ally, Paddy Beatson. 5 hours later, a shot was also fired at the house of a Richardson associate in West Pilton Bank in the capital. Police confirmed the incidents were thought to be linked to groups who are actively targeting each other. Footage of the brazen attacks were then posted on social media, with the Martha Vandellas song Nowhere to Run To playing under the video, and included a chilling message to anyone associated with Mark Richardson. On the 1st of April, armed police carried out a number of raids. They arrested 4 people and a number of items were seized, including a Range Rover. Officers leading those raids appealed for the public's help.
The impact has been significant, and I understand that communities are rightly concerned about the reckless acts that they've seen over the last few weeks in the city. It's totally unacceptable, it will not be tolerated, and the operation that's taken place today in Edinburgh has been a direct result of this reckless behaviour across the city. We need members of the community to contact us, to make us aware of any information that they have, and to report into Police Scotland about anything that they have that might assist us in our investigation to tackle these truly shocking acts of reckless violence that we've seen in recent weeks.
A fugitive former Rangers...
That's the trouble though, isn't it? When people start talking, it's like, you can't control... This is definitely Kinahan. Definitely. Because it's just everything is like the ruthlessness and the see-through of it. I mean, everyone has places that beefs and that, but they just are. But yeah, it's all right for the police to come out and say, yeah, people need to come and grass them up. And it's like, well, how about you show the public that you can actually contain this and handle it? Because if you think for 1 second that if you come out and speak against them, that they're not going to come after you and all, they absolutely are. Whether you're a woman, old man, they don't care. Like it's, yeah, that there's a reason why they are in the position they are in, and it is just how ruthless they are. And yeah,
is believed to be behind the attacks after being ripped off by associates of Richardson. He can't be named for legal reasons, but is based in Dubai, living a luxury lifestyle. Speaking at the time of the raids, those investigating the outbreak of gang violence in Edinburgh said their message is clear.
It is a complex inquiry just because of the nature of some of the offending and the number of offences we're investigating. My message to people responsible to this is that we are coming for you. We're working extremely hard to identify who you are, and this sort of behaviour will not be tolerated, and we will bring you to justice.
2 days later,
there's a video, and it's a couple of years old now, and it's called The Kinahan Cartel is finally finished. Yeah, it's like a couple of years old, that video now. I mean, eventually they're going to catch up with them, but I see someone say as well with the Kinahan Cartel that it doesn't matter. It's such a big organised. It's like Coca-Cola now. There's no one who can die in the Coca-Cola company that's going to collapse Coca-Cola. If you take out Daniel Kinahan, it doesn't matter. The operation will continue. It's a cartel. It's like, yeah. So even if you do get Daniel Kinahan, which is the one you want, but that ain't going to be just the end of it.
Officers carried out raids in 5 houses in Edinburgh and Musselburgh alongside Police Scotland's specialist organised crime team. A number of items relevant to the investigation were seized, including weapons, drugs and cash. 2 men were arrested and charged with drug offences. In the early hours of the 4th of April, a house on Hay Drive in the Niddry area was allegedly firebombed. The gang violence had already moved to the west the previous day when a house was deliberately set.
It's dirty and all, really, because like you don't know who's living next door either, and they don't give a shit. Like it could be do you know what I mean, a family. You could, like, they just don't care.
Fire more than 50 miles away in Cortmallow Gardens in the Rob Royston area of Glasgow. A premises linked to the notorious Daniels mob in Milton Road in Kirkintilloch was also set on fire, and footage of that attack was posted online with a Johnny Cash hit, Ring of Fire, playing under it. On the 7th of April, 3 homes with links to the Daniels...
Let's read exactly what that said. We are urging everyone in Scotland on the streets and those incarcerated to join us in the fight against Mark Richardson and the Daniels family. These rats have been thieving for a long time. It's time for people to stand together as one and remove this vermin.
Fire playing under it. On the 7th of April, 3 homes with links to the Daniels clan are firebombed within hours of each other. Properties in Gala Street and Ashgill Road in Glasgow and Meadow Court and Steps were all set alight in the early hours. The following day, a carpet factory business linked to jailed mobster Craig Rob Roy Gallagher, an ally of Mark Richardson and the Daniel clan, is set on fire in Bishop Briggs near Glasgow. Footage is then posted online taunting the hoods, featuring the Prodigy hit Firestarter. A stark warning is posted at the end of the video. 6 days later, and a 72-year-old woman and a 12-year-old boy linked to the Daniel family are seriously assaulted in Milton in Glasgow. Hoods then uploaded a fresh video with yet another warning. On the 14th of April, 2 more homes are torched in Bishop Briggs aimed at the Daniel clan. Another video posted to the song Keep On Running by the Spencer Davis Group plays under it with yet another warning. Those investigating...
Alright, not that I'm condoning anything that they're doing, because it's disgraceful. But I have to say, whoever's doing these messages and that, they got an impeccable music taste. That's one thing you can say about them. Like, that they are picking bangers, to be fair to them. Yeah.
The gangland violence branded the attacks cowardly and say they'll bring those responsible to justice.
People should feel safe in their own homes. And actually, for someone to go into an attack an elderly lady and a young child in their own home is quite simply cowardly and abhorrent. And what I would like to reassure the public is that, again, believe these to be targeted attacks. We are investigating a number of what we believe to be linked incidents between rival organised crime groups, starting off in the east probably about a month ago, and it's now in the last week or so moved to the west of the country as well. So at the minute we're dealing with what we believe to be targeted incidents now in the west of Scotland. So I'm aware of some of these incidents and some of the videos that you're talking about. I have seen them. I would say it somewhat glamorises some of these incidents. I would suggest the videos are abhorrent. What I would like to reassure the public is that Police Scotland is doing everything we can to bring these people to justice. You will see there's been lots of police activity, not just in terms of overt policing, but also some of the things that the public don't see, such as specialist crime division and specialist officers that we have to bring. So there is lots going on, and there have been a number of arrests, particularly in the east of the country.
And after the fire bombings and violence towards family members and associates of the Daniel clan, Stephen Bonzo Daniel actually headed out to Dubai, even though his enemies are based there, but it's understood he has since returned to Scotland. Firebomb attacks like these are becoming an almost daily occurrence, as the gangland war, which has lasted almost 2 months, shows no signs of stopping. This is the aftermath of yet another property that was torched by those looking to take control of the lucrative cocaine market. This plush £1 million pad belonging to David McMillan was set alight in the early hours of the morning, with children inside, as those targeting associates of caged coke baron Mark Richardson continue their campaign of terror. 54-year-old McMillan is close pals with Richardson and has ties to the Daniel crime family, which is also under siege from rivals waging an escalating turf war. Mr. McMillan's front door was soaked with an accelerant by 2 hooded attackers who set it alight before fleeing at around 1:45 in the morning. The firebomb attack comes on the 6th anniversary of the shotgun murder of his train-spotting 2-star pal Bradley Welsh. Mr. McMillan suffered a fractured skull and spent 5 days in hospital after 3 men burst into the property and hacked at him with a machete 6 years ago. Only weeks later, close friend Bradley Welsh was gunned down on his doorstep in Edinburgh's Newtown. Hitman Sean Orman blasted the gym boss for just £10,000 and also carried out the knife attack on Mr. McMillan. He was jailed for 10 years for the machete attack and a minimum of 28 years for carrying out the execution after a 12-day trial at the High Court in Edinburgh in May 2021. This was the 5th home linked to the gang which has been set on fire this week, as those behind the attacks continue to target those associated with the Richardson or Daniel clans.
Yeah, I don't know whether it makes it look glamorous. Like, there's certain things you can see that kind of make things look glamorous. But, like, take the apparently King Von shooting. Like, you see rappers shooting and that, and maybe people can see that. Setting fire to people's front doors in their houses is just cowardly. But that's just how, yeah. Craziness. And that's the thing as well, is it's less direct. Setting someone's house on fire, there's no telling where that can end. Well, yeah. And you think that boy, got 28 years, 38 years? They say 10 and 28 or 10 and 20, whatever. For what? 20 grand? 15 grand, was it? Right, really, 15 grand ain't even, that's like a minimum wage year's earnings, really. Maybe more. But for 1 year of basically, yeah, you could have done 1 year working minimum wage. Well, you wouldn't consider it, but now you're going to do 38 years with no income in prison. Crazy. Yeah. It does seem like from seeing everything play out, it does seem like Kinahan, like I say, Kinahan trademark. They are so ruthless. I recommend people look up the Hutch. Someone literally lays out the murders, and it's just so one-sided. But the thing is, as well, in a way, it's kind of smart to be so ruthless and to put up these messages saying because people will start to isolate them because they don't want to be seen as. So yeah, it is kind of like flushing rats out of a building, but it's a very, very, to be honest, scummy way. But like I say, that's why they're in the position that they are. Although it's interesting to see what's going on now. What's his name's back? Scarface. We did a thing on the Lions and Daniels. And it's kind of you're winning, but you're winning with someone else's firepower, really. You're winning with the backing of the Kinahan cartel. So even if you do win, you're forever going to be the whipping boys of the Kinahan cartel. But yeah, that's the reaction. Sweet.